All right, I've sat back and I've watched everybody have their statements about violence in Chicago and Donald Trump bringing troops. And I'm going to tell you where I stand. And if you know me, you already know where I stand. But let me first get this out. I am sick and tired of hearing Brandon Johnson and his paid comrades to go around saying violence is low to try to pad his record. It is utter bullshit. And it is a disrespect to our seniors who are being shot up in front of their senior buildings, to our children who are being shot up walking to school. It is a disrespect to all of the families that are constantly being shot each and every day. Chicago has a violence problem. And the only reason why violence is down a little bit is because violence went up during COVID.
No federal troops in the city of Chicago. No militarized force in the city of Chicago. We're going to defend our democracy in the city of Chicago. Are you prepared to defend this land? If this president decides to continue to break this Constitution, it's going to be the labor movement that stitches it back together.
Chicago Mayor Brandon Johnson rallying against President Trump's offer to deploy federal troops to help the city fight crime. Now, this despite a violent holiday weekend. At least 7 people were shot and killed and dozens more wounded. Kata Truss lives in Chicago. She is the director of the Community Roundtable and joins us now. Great to have you back on the show. I want to read to you what's in Mayor Johnson's executive order. He says the city will pursue all available legal and legislative avenues to counter coordinated efforts from the federal government that violate the rights of the city and its residents. You're closer to the people than we are, and we'd love to hear what you think about all of this that's going on, especially the very tragic news from over the weekend.
Well, first of all, this has been a very violent weekend in the city of Chicago. As a matter of fact, the last several weekends in Chicago have been very violent. And so when Mayor Johnson stands there and talks about taking over the city and not letting troops come in, it's as opposed to what? As opposed to the high crime that is here, as opposed to the murders and the violence that's going on, as opposed to businesses being afraid to open their doors because they're constantly being robbed. What's the point in this? You know, the fact of the matter is this. Mayor Johnson has a dismal approval rating. And so going against President Trump probably in his mind seems like the right thing to do.
Views, conversations, and opinions expressed on this channel could be subjective or objective and are also for informational, educational, and entertainment purposes only. Here on The Mix, we encourage and implore you to conduct your own research.
Hey everyone, welcome to The Mix. Like this video, share this video. As you can see what this video is going to be about, yes, Chicago's brutal reality, and also too, Illinois' crime supporters. You have Mayor Brandon Johnson and Governor Pritzker. Are they crime supporters? Are they for it or against it? What do you all think? Before I jump into the topic, I need for you guys to like, share, subscribe. Again, like, share, subscribe, hit the notification bell. That way you'll be in tune with all the content I drop here on The Mix. If you're interested in donating, smash that Cash App, Zelle, or PayPal. It is in the description section of this post. All donations go toward content enhancement creation here on The Mix. Don't forget to join members only. Yes, get your front row seat to exclusive content. Also, to you guys, cash prize giveaway running this month. Yes, we do giveaways here on The Mix. Check out some of my previous giveaways in the live section I ran here on my channel. So go ahead and sub up. You guys, it's free to do that, and hit your notification bells. That way you'll know when I drop the information or logistics of the cash prize giveaway. Hey, you guys, so without further ado, yeah, Chicago's brutal reality. And as you've seen for those clips, and this is coming off a Labor Day weekend, crime is just continuously out of control, even before Brandon Johnson became mayor of Chicago. And let me just say this and be clear and transparent here on The Mix, because I like to do that. I was at one point rooting for Mayor Brandon Johnson. I thought, hey, give him an opportunity. He's a black man, blah, blah, blah. And I don't live in Chicago, Illinois. And my bad, I would never interject myself or give my opinion as to who's a good candidate for this city, town, whatever, state, or whatever that I do not, reside in. So that's my bad. And he turned around. This became an epic fail, in my opinion. And I say that respectfully because it seems like the city of Chicago it's gotten ridiculous, utterly ridiculous from a financial perspective, in my opinion, based off of many news reports. And even people who live in the city of Chicago can attest to just their tax paying money from property ownership and all of that is just being wasted. Yes, and not being put back into the community. And the people that voted for Brandon Johnson, they're not seeing a return on their votes. So because basically if you vote for someone, whether it be federal or local level, you guys, they should be working for you. That's how it's supposed to go. Now, does it go that way all the time? Heck no, 99.999% of the time it does not go that way. But that's neither here nor there. That's another topic for a whole nother day. But at any rate, so yeah, brutal reality, you guys. It may take for President Trump to bring in the federal government, different agencies to come in to help curb the crime, like what took place in D.C. And it is to my understanding, based on reports in D.C., the crime rate has dropped drastically. They went 10 days, according to the mayor of D.C., who is a Democratic mayor, based off of reports I've read, and you can Google it yourself. Always fact checked and, do your own research too. So, but based off of what the mayor has said in D.C., that they went, 10 days without any murders? That is great. Let's give it up for D.C. And the mayor of D.C. is not a fan of Trump. I think the mayor is a Democrat mayor, black mayor at that, and she said it helped. It helps. So she's keeping it real. And there's nothing wrong with keeping it real. Even if you don't like someone, even if you don't agree with someone, and when it comes to business, when it comes to politics, when it comes to even within a household, you have the husband and wife. You have to compromise and work together for the betterment of the household, for the betterment of the children, if you have children, for the betterment of the trajectory of, how your future will look together within the household, economically, where you're going to live, all of that. So you have to come together, and salute to the DC mayor, who basically appreciated, all said and done, the federal help from President Trump. Chicago needs to face a brutal reality that it is warranted, in my opinion, based off of reports and all of that, for federal troops to come in, and I believe that will be taking place. Now, as far as how the mayor and the governor of Illinois will react once troops and boots are on the ground soon, I believe that will happen in the month of September, this month. I don't know. We shall see we shall see. All they're going to do, in my opinion, probably is just going to protest, which you have that right. Anybody has that right to protest, as long as it's not violent, as long as it's peaceful and all of that. So, but you guys, let's continue to listen to more of the citizens of Chicago who are welcoming President Trump and the troops into the city. Yes, they want that. They are demanding that the federal government interjects because of the crime in the area. And let me just say this really quickly before I play the remainder of the clips and others, that I challenge the mayor and I challenge the governor of Illinois. Go ahead, go to the hood without your security and let us see how safe it is. And let me just say this really quickly as well. I was robbed as an adolescent, I'm gonna say adolescent, teenager and a young adult in Chicago in broad daylight both times when I was younger. And crime was off the chain then, but it's even worse now. I was robbed of my chain. I was robbed of my jacket in the hood, and like I said, and crime back then, it was bad, but it's even worse now. So yeah, and that made me feel so horrible. I even hate thinking about it. I don't know, I get a little emotional because I felt violated, so somebody pushing my child down and snatching my chain, my whole neck was scratched up in broad daylight. They pushed my child down to grab my chain, to snatch my chain, and my child was crying. It was horrific. I just felt beyond violated, so and then I was robbed not far from where I lived again of a sports coat, sports jacket. So that was a horrific experience, and that was gunpoint. So so I can attest to being a former citizen of Chicago, being a victim of crime. Did I call the police? No, I did not. We did not call the police, because I think one time it was my sister and I. But let me know your thoughts, you guys, down in the chat. Like this video, share this video. Here are the remainder of the clips of the people speaking and reacting, welcoming the federal government to Chicago, Illinois to help with the crime. Here we go.
He has never listened to the people and what we really want since he's been in office. And what is really happening here is I feel that the mayor is probably deflecting. He's deflecting from the fact that he mismanaged the city's money by supporting the migrant crisis, and he asked the Board of Education to take out a junk loan for the city to cover costs. That's basically what the loan is for. So now that the Board of Education has refused, most of the measures that he's really tried to push in the city have been turned down because they've been things that have not been beneficial to the people here. So of course he's going to go against whatever measures President Trump puts in place.
Right, so he would use politics and a fight with Trump in order to help his own standing, is what I hear you say. I want you to listen to some of these Chicago business owners to talk about what they're going through.
The city's not safe, for the mayor and the governor to go on TV and use us as statics, as numbers. I mean, we're human beings. We're talking about real time. We have to have extra security, private security on the street. We have to make sure that we advise all our patrons when they go home and check the Uber. People can't even walk their dogs. I mean, this isn't to believe that the city is safe the way they made it sound in the press conference. It is wrong.
Kata, if Brandon Johnson were to change his mind today and take President Trump up on the offer, get some results like they're seeing in Washington, D.C., do you think that his approval would actually be harmed in the city?
Absolutely not. It may help him, considering the fact that his approval rating is at a dismal 1 digit. It might be something that can help him. But the fact of the matter is, it really doesn't matter about what Brandon Johnson says. It doesn't matter about his politics. What matters is the people. And the people here in Chicago don't feel safe. The people here in Chicago want the help that President Trump is trying to send here. So regardless of what the mayor says, we want the help.
Kata, thank you for being here. I think that there could be, perhaps news about this in the next week or so, maybe sooner.
Of course, now you have Chicago politicians bragging, talking about, no, the crime is down, the crime is down. Maybe by fucking Whole Foods where you shop, but not in the south side of Chicago, where people are still ducking and dodging bullets and can't even check their goddamn mail. This is what I was saying 2 weeks ago when I said these democratic cities invest in crime. And every liberal in my comment section was like, you said the wrong word, you said it better, you did it better, you said it better, you said it better. They're investing in crime. There's no progress. They want the crime to fucking continue. That's obvious. Talking about you're investing positively in the communities. You're investing in fucking excuses. You have communities like West Side where there's people who are purposely going out asking for help. Trump said the other day, there's a beautiful African-American woman coming to me asking me like, hey, can you please come help us in Chicago? We need help. Crime is at an all-time high. Please help us. Governor's like, oh no, we're okay. The mayor's like, don't send help. How dare you? We don't need no help. Let the crime continue. Let the crime continue. The gaslighting is at an all-time high. You are willing to put your community at risk because you hate Trump that bad. No, what's going to happen is he's going to call out your fucking mismanagement. He's going to call out your bullshit. He's going to call out your corruption. That's what he's doing. These democratic cities think this is some type of game. Every time a criminal is in jail, they're like, oh, you're racist. Every time the National Guard comes in to sweep their shit up, oh, that's illegal. Yet and still, you got the community out here. Please help us. We need help. We want to live. We're tired of dodging bullets. Trying to bamboozle the public. We know the truth. The communities are speaking for themselves. We couldn't care less what's on the goddamn paper. You democratic cities are trash, and you continuously invest in crime.
People lost their jobs. COVID had folks in the house, economic insecurity. We know why violence was high during COVID. It was higher in every city around the country. So now that folks are back to work and we are post-COVID, violence have come down a bit. But if you look at right before COVID, where 500 people were killed in 2019 and over 2,000 people were shot, we're right back at those numbers. Almost 300 people have been shot this year and 300 people have been killed this year and 1,300 people have been shot. That means that we're on par to go back to the numbers where we were before COVID happened. So stop this rhetoric. Now, what do we do about it? Do we occupy our city with military forces? No, that's not the answer. But we do need federal intervention. We do need task force. We do need Donald Trump to work with our government so that we can deploy as much resources as possible so that we can clean our streets up. But that's going to take for our corrupt politicians to want to work with every level of government. And they don't want to. You know why? Because violence pays. Violence makes it a topic where people can go out and say, well, I'll decrease violence a few percent, vote for me again, and keep getting campaign donations and keep getting kickbacks from all of their friends that they're patting their pockets for while they're in office. Let's talk about this. In the last 20 years, while 22,000 people have been shot and over 10,000 people have been killed in the city of Chicago in the last 20 years, they have spent $7 to $10 billion on politics, on political campaigns from state to local all the way down. $7 to $10 billion. They spent $1 billion on violence intervention. They just spent $1 billion in the city of Chicago on migrants alone in 3 years from 2022 to 2025. So when they talk about actually doing something about violence, none of them motherfuckers have ever sat down and actually did what they were supposed to do to get our communities together. So this is about politics. This is not about you. This is not about the people in communities. They need to stop playing politics, work with the man, or he gonna come in and run all over you.